here, but
Yes.
that would be okay.
Yes. Yes. Other questions? Contact me if you don't know. I mean, I'm available for you. Okay, so summer, loose clothing and a light backpack. Always wear the backpack. For the fall, winter, and spring, jackets, bring an umbrella. If you don't have a jacket with a hood, bring a light umbrella. If you don't like carrying umbrellas because you've got all your hands busy, if you don't want to use an umbrella, don't. It's, you know, you wear a jacket with a hood is fine. Make sure your jacket is waterproof. Not water resistant so the seams get wet, but waterproof. And it's a light windbreaker kind of over jacket because it will rain. I hope it rains for their sake, but you'll be okay with that. At the Dead Sea, there's your water shoes. Pick up that water shoe.
Well, I'm going to wear this. These aren't just water shoes. Yeah.
Okay.
Keens.
So he's got Keens. And these are really...
We can't see it, Rick.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not joking.
I'm not afraid. Okay, I'm making a video camera.
People will leave the church.
So this is a Keen. Water shoes are great. So at the Dead Sea, you're going to wear these because it's salty and the salt is sharp. And you don't want to walk on the sharp salt and cut your feet. And it's a little slippery too, so it gives you some good traction. These are also what you're going to wear when you go through Hezekiah's tunnel, David's tunnels, because you will need water shoes. You cannot wear flip-flops. You wear flip-flops in the Dead Sea, that's fine. You cannot wear flip-flops in Hezekiah's tunnels. You've got to wear a shoe with a back on it. So make sure you get some. They have Dr. Scholl's that are cheap and
They sell these in Riverwalk. What's the...
Ptarmigan.
They sell these in
Ptarmigan.
Ptarmigan.
And they sell them in Village Shoe and Boot and Shoe and all that. So you can get them online. They don't have to be your favorite shoe. Again, fashion is no big deal. Questions?
Well, I had the privilege to go to the Dead Sea, and so I was determined to go in it, and I did. And I floated despite my weight. I just floated all over the place, but I couldn't get myself back vertical. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I even got a little scared. Do you have a tip for how do you get vertical when you're out there in a little bit of water?
Never, ever, ever go face down. Do not get the salt in your eyes. It will burn like crazy. If you have very, very sensitive skin, I was there with a child and she got burns on her body because the salt was so strong for her young skin. If you have sensitive skin, go in tenderly, don't just go running in. And if you are floating in your bath, try and sit, and then put your feet down. And be with a buddy. Be with a buddy. Everybody at all times with a buddy. And your buddy, if you want your buddy to stand while you float, it's great. I was floating this last June. I took some priests with me, and I was floating. Priest floats by. You can't make up those moments. Huh? Hi. Hi, Father. So anyway, but you take a buddy with you. If you're concerned about that, it's really cool. Take a daily, a Vail Daily, or your local newspaper, whatever you would like to read, and hold it up and have someone take a picture of you. It's very fun to have that. I have some very non-flattering pictures of me doing that, so I'm not showing those, but it's fun. You've got your home paper, and you can send it to the Daily, or get a picture of all of you and send it to the Daily. It's great. Okay, you need sunscreen. Even though it's September, you need sunscreen. And please, 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 you're staying overnight at the Dead Sea, so it's not quite as much of a problem, but wash out those shoes after the Dead Sea. Use soap. They have showers right there outside. In every resort, they have showers outside. Use a lot of soap because that sulfur creates this dead smell that you don't want. Clean your shoes. I mean, really, go in the shower and put the shampoo, the hotel shampoo, and scrub your shoes and wash them and scrub and wash because that smell gets in your shoes. And then sit them out on the porch to dry so the sun bakes the bacteria out of it. Because that is a terrible smell. Right? Yeah, it's a bad smell. Wash your bathing suit out. If you want to take a bathing suit that you don't love, throw it away. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is the important part. I'm going to pass these around. This is a mezuzah. This is the inside. This is the outside. I have a couple here to show and tell. I have some insides and outsides. These are on every door. And the reason I put this in here is because every door, except the bathroom door, in Israel will have this on it. And in a hotel, they're all the same, right? But as you go around to different places, you'll see they're all different, and they can be beautiful. And inside of them, this is called a cloth. This is written on parchment, and it's folded up and rolled up and put inside the mezuzah. It's at a slant on the door, and you'll see them, you'll notice them. What people do is they touch the mezuzah and kiss it as they come in. They'll go out, and the words inside the mezuzah are written in Hebrew, and what it is the Shema, which is, the words are, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And then it says, I think this is part of your liturgy, you shall love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul. That's what it says in there. That's where it came from. Jesus was a Jew. He was a really devout Jew. He had this, okay? It wasn't written in a little container like this in his days. It was written on the doorposts of the house. On the doorposts of the house. It was written there. And that is cool. So I'm going to pass these around. It goes inside, but just take a look at it. And if you go to someone's house who's Jewish, you'll probably see this on there. Okay. So there's a little letter here. It has the A sound. Little letter here that has the D sound. It put together it means ad, A-D, ad, or it means witness, and you're witness to the fact that you have this prayer. It's always larger. You'll see it on there. Always larger. If you didn't know this, you wouldn't look. You'd miss something. That's why I'm telling you. Okay. Also, there's a lot of new foods. Be brave. The new foods. The new foods. There's a lot of hummus. Hummus, you know hummus? Okay.
There's some on the table.
Okay, hummus is made from garbanzo beans. You're going to have hummus everywhere you go. Okay? My advice, take Gas-X. I'm just saying, you're eating a lot of beans. And some people doesn't agree so well, or after 5 days of beans, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm getting bloated, I don't feel well. Take Gas-X with you. Just saying. Okay? Because hummus is there everywhere. There's also something called tahina. Tahina is made of sesame seeds. It's a sauce, a thin sauce that's put on top. Different than hummus. And if you want, the one's whiter, the tahina is whiter, the hummus is more brown. And hummus is thicker. You'll know the flavor, but just saying, okay? So, and tahina is sesame seeds, no problem there. This is halva. Halva is made also out of ground sesame seeds, really useful seed. And this is in many flavors. You'll see this in the markets, possibly your hotels for your dinners or breakfast. You'll see halva. It is made out of ground sesame seeds and sugar and some flavorings, and it's really cool. Try it. Very, very fattening. Try it. It's really good. And then this is called. Question?
What's it called?
Halva. H-A-L-V-A. Okay. And everybody try this. There's a letter that has there's two letters. They have the ch sound. You'll hear a lot of ch-chs going in Israel as part of their language. Okay. This is called challah. Challah is the bread that's eaten on Friday nights. And you'll see that for sale, and it's in an egg bread kind of thing, and it's delicious. Buy one and you're with a group, buy one and share it. Buy some halva, share it. Buy some candies, share it. Every time you get a chance, buy something and taste it. Don't go to Israel and just say, I want to eat a hamburger. No.
But Janet, where? You're talking West Jerusalem, right? You're not talking in the old city. You're not going to rip off challah. In the Jewish quarter, you would do that?
If you're sharing food, it's fine. You can share food.
On the street?
You know, there's as you walk into the Jaffa Gate, there's a big kiosk of breads, and they're actually a Palestinian kind of bread. It's this long circular thing. Buy one and share it. You can do that right there. They're outside there. You can do it. I mean, I would be careful to not be an obnoxious American and make a big deal out of it. I would go are you going to Machane Yehuda? In Jerusalem?
No.
You're talking about food safety, right?
Janet, don't think so.
Okay, so.
Well, we have a free day too. People can walk around.
Okay, so on your free day in Jerusalem, go to Machane Yehuda. Not on a Saturday. On a Saturday in Jerusalem, you are going to be not in Jerusalem on Saturday. That's great. You on any day except Friday afternoon and Saturday, you can go to Machane Yehuda. It's the Jewish market. Machane, M-A-C-H-A-N-E, Machane, M-A-C-H-A-N-E, Yehuda. Yehuda is like Judah, Yehuda. And take a cab there or walk there. Your hotel is in a great location. You can walk a lot of places. Oh, did everybody get to see the mezuzah? Back in the back, you did? Yes, yes, yes? Okay, good. Machane Yehuda is the open market, and it is really cool. I think I have a picture. I'll show you. And it's really cool, and you can eat on the street. You can laugh and be wild. It's so incredible, and you will see shopping like you've never seen. Not for yourself, but watch what goes on. I'll show you pictures.
Is it open in the afternoons?
It is open in the afternoon, and it's open in the afternoon. It starts in the morning around 8 or 9, and it goes through the afternoon. It's so interesting. Yes.
You said we can eat on the street?
You can.
Eat from open booths and local sellers?
Yes, if there's, you'll see in the when you go to buy lunch, there'll be like, you're going to be at kiosks or a restaurant that has a, like a walk-up counter, and they're going to give you your food. You've got to go outside and sit down, and that's fine. In the old city, I mean, there's not that much to eat in the old city. There's a lot of spice stores and things. There's not like, there's restaurants. You sit down in a restaurant in the old city. You don't really, there's not really a place. But as you go in the Jaffa Gate, which you will go in, there's there's lots of guys that sell they're Palestinian style breads. And they're really cool, and it's okay. I mean, there's flies, but Okay, this is what you'll see. I'm sorry, it's so pixelated there. This is a cup, and you're going to see sinks outside in any restaurant, every restaurant. You'll see a sink outside of the bathroom. It's not because they don't have sinks in the bathroom. It's for washing. It's a religious ritual, and if you get to see someone do it, watch, because it's pretty cool. There's another one of those things I don't want you to miss. So you'll see these cups in your hotel and in the street, in the restaurants, and they take one side and they fill it up the cup, and they take one side and wash this hand, the other hand will wash this hand, back and forth, and they say a blessing that God has commanded us to wash our hands. Now, if you think Jesus did it, and he also said, remember he said, it's what comes out of your mouth, not what goes in your mouth, and that kind of thing. Well, we wash our hands, but you can think about biblical times and survival of the fittest. People who washed their hands before they ate, I mean, don't you think they survived, right? So it's a good custom. If you get a chance to wash your hands before you eat. This is at the wall, and you'll see these people, or yourself if you want, washing and doing the ritual washing. I actually took that picture, sorry it's so pixelated, of these guys washing. Taking pictures is fine as long as you don't get in their face. I take it down here and hope they come out, because I don't want to disrespect them.
If we wash our hands, is it not right if we don't do it a certain way? Like, we can go up there and wash our hands and not know what we're doing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is it okay for us to touch the mezuzah?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You'll be touching it all over the place, but yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, this, I don't want you to miss this. There are going to be places where you see a string going by. When you get to Tel Aviv, if you get a chance, I think they're going to take you directly to the Negev Desert in the morning. You might get there late in the afternoon, and maybe it's dark, but I want you to, as you go, if you drive your bus past the ocean, or if you're looking around, not in Jerusalem, but you look around, you'll see this string. It's not a telephone wire, a lonely telephone wire. It's a string, and you'll see little pieces of yarn tied to it. It is, there's a law in the Torah and Deuteronomy that says that you need to carry things within a walled area. And that means if you're not within the walled area and it's the Sabbath, you can't carry something like an umbrella or your prayer things or your baby, pushing a baby carriage or whatever you want to carry, right? So if you make a wall, this wire is called an eruv or eruv, and it's a wire. It makes a fence around the city, and they can walk. More religious people can walk in it. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So keep your eyes open for that, because there's going to be places where you might see that, you might not, because you're not spending a lot of time in Tel Aviv, and Tel Aviv is not necessarily the place to spend a lot of time. But if you see that, then you'll know what it is. Okay. There's different traditions. You'll see people with different looking outfits. You see these two different hats? And this one has white socks and black shoes. You'll see black socks and white shoes. No, white, black socks and black shoes. You'll see long coats, short coats, silk coats, striped coats, different size hats, big hats, little hats. You'll see them, and you'll see the payas, the hair down here, and the cut here, but not usually. You'll see that, and that is biblical also, not to cut the four corners of your face, the hair from the four corners of your face. So this is real hair, and they don't cut it, and the curls can sometimes be put behind the ears. He has his all rolled up, but behind his ears. So it depends, but they're called payas, and the purpose is to follow the biblical law to not cut the four corners of your face, not to cut the hair at the four corners of your face. Interesting. And so, and the different styles are where they came from in Europe, in Eastern Europe, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, is where they came from. Their village is different than his village. They might be friends, they might go to school together, they might pray together, but they have different traditions. It's beaver or mink, wool, different things. So just saying, different, just watch for it. Don't just say, oh, those people are dressed weird. I mean, look at them and notice the differences. You will see prayer shawls. You'll see people with the prayer shawls, and also the ones that are part of their garment. They'll be wearing a regular suit and a white shirt, and these strings hanging down. They didn't forget to cut the strings off their clothes. It's the same purpose, and these are tied in wine. It's like Jewish macrame, and it symbolizes the knots and the wines together symbolize the number 613. 613 is the number of commandments that are in the Torah, the Old Testament, the first 5 books of Moses. That's the knots and the wines. Make sense? So that these prayer shawls on the four corners have them. I had some people on my last trip that thought they were like just fun things to put around their head. No, I mean they're expensive, so don't spend your money on it unless you want a Jewish prayer shawl. That's what it is. And so you'll see they have all different kinds. And some have a blue thread in them, and the blue thread is called techelet. You don't even know that. And that is from a snail that is found in the Dead Sea. And they didn't know where it was for many, many years. And about 30 years ago, they found this snail again, and they propagated the snail. And you'll find that there are some blue threads, and that's what this blue, the blue stripe symbolizes. That's what it symbolizes, is that blue techelet. But it's in the string of the talit, okay, the talis, okay? Yes? Yes, the squares on their heads and their hands. So, those are called tefillin, and you'll see them at the airport. You'll see them on the airplane. The Hasidim, the people who are Orthodox Jews, they will pray 3 times a day. They'll pray in the morning, they'll pray at night, and they might be praying in the middle because of time change. So, you'll see them, and these have this prayer written inside of it, this same prayer, and some other words as well. There's one for the head and there's one for the hand. Thou shalt love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, and this is the way it's written in Hebrew, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be for frontlets between your eyes. Thou shalt bind them on your hand, and they shall be on the doorposts of your house, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. That's what it says in it. That's the whole prayer. And so this is for frontlets between thine eyes, and bind them upon your hand. And there's a certain way of binding that spells out the shin, which is on here, the letter shin, which is the first letter of one of the names of God, Shaddai. So you'll see that. And some guys walk around with them, with the leather. It's all made out of leather. It's a leather box. And the leather is trailing from behind them and trailing from their arms. And you know that Jesus said we don't show off, right? And this is what he was talking about. Some people are praying and not being sincere. So if some people are doing it to show off, that's what we was talking about. Some people are fervent prayers. You will see it at the Western Wall. Only the men use them. You'll see it at the Western Wall, and you'll see them doing that. And the people who are sincere about it, they love it, and it's so meaningful. You have to do it for the right reasons.
So do they wear that all day, or just when they pray?
They should just wear it when they pray. Just saying. Young and old, here's a bigger picture of it. Young and old, you'll see people in the army uniforms all over. Yeah, you see it? Yes? You see it? There are a zillion cats everywhere, especially Jerusalem. There are cats. They have a serious cat problem. There's no mice. Right? No mice, no rats. They have a serious cat problem. These are feral cats. Do not touch them. In your places in the north, they're going to be around your hotel. Don't bring them in your hotel room. Don't put them in your lap. They're going to want to snuggle up and you push them away. They are feral cats. They have no immunizations, and they have fleas or whatever else cats can have. I mean, I was on a trip last August. They put them in their hotel rooms in their bed. They get up in the morning. They're covered with flea bites.
Everybody knows cats carry evil.
Yeah.
We
This lady, I was in Jerusalem walking outside the synagogue, and she's giving a cat water. People leave their water spigots on a little bit just for that. And you'll see bread on the ground in a lot of places. They put bread in the ground because they don't want to starve the cats. You know, people have compassion for, not you, but compassion for the cats. But you'll see, yeah, but it's not like they're just throwing bread in the ground and they're littering. They're helping the animals. So you might see some foxes in the north, or in Jerusalem, you'll see some foxes, red foxes. You'll see people in uniform. This is a policeman and this is a person in the army, and they guard everywhere. You're not going to see them a lot in some tourist places. You're not going to see them in the north as much. You're not going to see them in the Dead Sea as much unless they have an event there or some training. They have trainings all over the place. But in Jerusalem you'll see them, in Tel Aviv you'll see them. They are there for your safety. They are not, you don't need to worry that there's something happening. We send our kids to college at 18. They send their kids to the army. Everybody serves. Everybody, girls, boys. If I were to go to Israel right now, I would have to serve. If I were to make Aliyah, if I was going to become a citizen, I would serve in some way. Everybody serves. The only people who don't serve are those ultra-Orthodox Jews who, when Israel was founded, they made this law that said, we need to preserve Judaism, so they're doing their part by studying and spreading Judaism. Now it's become a problem because there's secular Israelis and there's religious Israelis, and they have a lot of issues between them. So there's some, but they might be driving ambulances, or they might be giving tours, like in the museum, so they serve in a different way. But everybody puts in some service. So they're not to be afraid of, and they don't all speak great English, but if you get lost or have a question, you can ask. You're very safe asking them. And they're Israelis, they're not Palestinians. This is the Western Wall. Gives you a sense. I'm sure you've seen things online. Just an idea. Get thin paper and write a prayer. You can also take prayers for your friends. And you're going to go to the wall and you're going to slip them into the cracks of the wall. They are full. It's very hard to get yours in. They're very full. And it may fall out, but it's in the right place. So if it falls to the ground, don't fret over it. Try and get it into a crack in the wall. And you'll go and you'll stick it in as best you can. But it's hard to, in the moment, write your prayer at the wall. And so you want to be prepared. So if you don't have to do this. If you want to take a piece of paper and write your prayer in advance, make it very small. I tell you, there's no room on that wall. They take them out twice a year and burn them. But you're going before the high holidays, before Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and they do it afterwards. So it's going to be stuffed. It's stuffed from the summer tourists. So you find your place and you squeeze it in as best you can, and you can say a prayer. You're going to see people touch the wall. You don't have to do this. You do not have to do this. And walk backwards away from the wall because they don't want to turn their back on the holy area. You don't have to do that. I think, navigating the whole thing, you don't want to have like a sprained ankle. Turn around where you're going, right? So you will see that. I just want you to know you'll see it. You do not have to do that. Questions? You might see an induction ceremony for the army. They do it at the wall. If you do, take a minute and watch it. It's cool. It's really cool. They take their vows there and their oath of office there. And then you might wonder, like, what's going on there? This is a way of praying. A lot of people put their heads against the wall or touch it. This is not the wall of the temple. This is the wall of the old city, as close as we can get to the temple. I believe the temple's gone, right? Okay, so Orthodox sects, you'll see people in scarves and also these really tacky wigs because it's a sense of modesty. Once a woman is married, they can't show their hair if they're Orthodox. So they wear, the modern thing now is to wear a scarf. Most young women wear the scarf. And sometimes, now it's a new thing, they have this really thick headband, and then their hair is in the back. You might see that too. And so this is a modern way of doing it, or doing it. They also have these Farrah Fawcett wigs. Oh my goodness. And then you see this, I told you about what that is. And then here is the electronic gate to get in, your security to get into the Western Wall. And that's really interesting. One thing that's really interesting, just saying, you don't use electricity on the Sabbath, but there's electricity. You have to go through, like an airport security to get in there. And so there's a sign on the wall here that says that the chief rabbi of Israel said that in this case, for the safety of everybody, use electricity on the Sabbath is okay. It's a very big thing. Light a candle. You'll go into churches. You may light a candle. Take some. Everybody have my shekels? Anybody have my shekels?
Yeah.
If you have some shekels.
Did the shekels come back?
No. You'll put, be generous. The churches depend on your generosity. Put a few shekels in, and you can light a candle, and you can, there's candles out, and you can light a candle. There might be some unlit candles in there. You can light a candle, and it's really, you can say your prayer and light the candle. It's lovely. It's a wonderful time. Very meaningful and very useful. Questions about that? Lighting candles? You know lighting candles, yes.
A question about the wall. I know the proper term is Western Wall. Is the term Wailing Wall a no-no?
It's not used. It's not used. We say, it's called the kotel. Kotel is the Hebrew word for it, or also you'll see the sign that says Western Wall or kotel. You'll see that. But it's not used as a Wailing Wall, not so much anymore. It was, this is describe what people did. They went to the wall and they wailed because they'd lost Jerusalem. Okay? All right. Oh, you can take photos, just don't go in their faces. So, like Roman Vishnikov did, you can take photos of people. Take photos of everything else, no problem. But you don't get in their face because they don't want the image, it's like, they can the image of God. They don't like photographs. They're seriously 1700s, if not earlier. Okay. Question?
So is it okay to, for men to wear longer shorts?
Yeah.
In this area? It is okay.
Yeah. It's fine. And you'll see everything. You touch it. This is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This is the stone that Jesus was washed on. And I took a coin and I put the coin on it and I gave it to one of the nuns at St. Clair. You can take a handkerchief. People bring all kinds of things. I wouldn't take your tour map or something.
It's perfumed. It's sweet, right? The smelling of that, isn't that the stone with all of the...
Well, it has the oils on it, but I don't know that it will really come off on what you have. Because it's rubbed all day long, and I'm not sure that it's going to smell that much. I wouldn't count on that. But you can rub it, and it's pretty cool to go up and touch it. Don't be hoggy or piggy about any one place, because there's always lines of people. It's pretty cool. This is the Sea of Galilee. Take a little bottle, a waterproof bottle. You can get them at Walmart, the kind that have this, so get them at REI, the really good kinds. And so that it's really waterproof. They also sell them there, but they are not waterproof. And collect some water from the Sea of Galilee and bring it back. How cool is that?
Will they let you bring that back through?
They sell the bottles there. So
In your
I'm saying,
suitcase.
I brought it back every time.
Less than 4 ounces.
Yeah, less than 3.5 ounces, you can bring it back. They sell those bottles, so I'm thinking they're encouraging you to get the water. So, just saying that. But I would bring my own bottle that's really waterproof, so your luggage doesn't have like sticky water all over it. So be careful though, because there are waves there. I fell in. This is just a picture of me. I have a video, and it was not a pretty sight. It's really rocky. So there's going to be a beach you go to. You go to the beach and do it there. Okay. Oh, there I'm at the water. You can watch me fall in. We can skip that. That's my guide telling me not to do that. You can hear him yelling, "Stop that! What are you doing?" Right? Okay, so this is a super farm and a grocery store. They have everything you need, and I'm going to show you some things there. This is called za'atar. It's the seasoning that's in everything. If you like it, you can buy it there. Okay? Take a look at it. This is red milled oatmeal. You can see it. It's got Hebrew writing on it, but you can see they have American products. They have a lot of American products like Scope, and just pass around. They have Scope and things like that. but it has Hebrew writing, which is pretty cool to see. It's a Symphonic. And I'm also going to show you, oops, no. Okay, I'm going to show you, there's, in your hotel, possibly, probably, not sure if they're kosher hotels. I know they're Christian hotels, but I'm not sure.
No,
that-
they're not Christian, they're
They're-
Israeli hotels.
But I think some of the sites cater to Christians. In most hotels, your breakfast is going to be a dairy breakfast. You're going to have cheeses and eggs and all kinds of wonderful things. Israeli salads are their big thing. You'll have like 5 kinds of salads. You'll have 10 kinds of breads. Eat them and eat the wonderful butter and the cheeses. It's wonderful. It's amazing. You will not find any bacon or sausage or ham there.
Oh.
In the morning, you will not find any meat at all. You'll not find any beef.
Bacon.
Nothing. Okay? You will not find that. At dinner, it's probably going to be a meat meal. You will not be able to ask for cream in your coffee. It will never happen. You will not be able to ask for butter for your rolls. It will be margarine. You will never get butter. It's a law. In Leviticus it says, you shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. So, the rabbi said that to me. You can't mix milk and meat. And so you have milk restaurants and meat restaurants. You will never find a piece of milk, cheese, anything in a meat restaurant. Don't ask for it. If they're serving meat, there will be no milk. If they're serving milk, there will be no meat. Guaranteed.
Why can't you get cream in your coffee?
Not at
Because
dinner.
it's
Oh,
not
dinner.
in
Dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, but you
If you're in a meat
breakfast.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Breakfast will get cream in your coffee. And the cream is amazing. The cheeses are amazing. Eat them and try them. They're amazing. Then there's a kind of food that's called parv, like hummus. Hummus is not meat, not milk. Cool. So there's a lot of places that are not meat, not milk. What happens, I brought these to show you, you don't have to look carefully, but there's a little place in that corner and it says a circle and then there's an MK in it. That's the rabbi who made it kosher. There are lots, there's O and there's a U in the middle, OU. There's Kaf, K, there's all different kinds of rabbis. And this Orthodox person won't accept the kashrut of this Orthodox person. Oh my, yeah. Oh my God. You wonder why there's problems? You know what is really said is it's not the Palestinian or Arab Israeli issue that's going to bring down Israel. It's the Orthodox versus the secular. Yeah. So these say parv. Parv means it's not milk, it's not meat, and go either way. It's kind of like neutral, gender neutral. So look on these. These are Trader Joe's things. Here is a coffee, Israeli chocolate bar, and it says OU and then a P. It means OU is Union of Orthodox Rabbis, the P is parv, either way. They have this after a meat meal, but you will never see ice cream served even after the meal. Not going to happen. Okay. Everybody saw the zatar? Smelled it? Okay. In the old city, you will see these candles. Smell them. They're made of honey. My favorite smell in the world. And they're cheap. They're easy to handle. You can bring them back. I mean, I don't think there's any problem. I brought a lot back, but there's always an exception. But these are wonderful candles. You'll see them. Some of them have Russian on them. And they smell like honey, they're beeswax. There's also white ones, they do not smell. The white and blue ones are prettier, they don't smell like honey. So pick them up, smell them, you like them, buy them. You can bargain a little bit, so that's good too. All right, moving on. The 10 Commandments of Travel, that is in your book.
Yes.
Really most important is that don't expect to find American things. Don't say at home, I have a salad before my dinner. At home, I have a drink before my dinner. I'm not used to having to go to a buffet. Most of your stuff will be buffets. Don't compare it. You're in a new land. Enjoy it. And then don't talk while your tour guide is talking. Please respect that because people around you want to hear, even if you don't want it. So if you don't want to hear it, just be quiet and put on your iPod. You're going to probably have an earpiece that will help you. Yeah. That your guide will be talking and you'll all be able to hear, so you don't have to crowd around the guide, but don't lag behind. It's really a pain because there's always in a group, there's one person who lags behind and wants to take pictures or whatever. Don't be that person. It's really hard in the tour guide. It's really hard in the rest of the people. If you're kind as a group, stay as a group. Be respectful of that. Get to places on time. If you're meeting at 8 o'clock, don't be the one that comes at 8:20. Like everybody's waiting on the bus. Be on time. Imagine that everybody is waiting for you and they're a little upset. They're not going to treat you as well. You want to be together, a friend. And so you're going to all together. Don't wear perfume or cologne. Don't bring it. Don't bring it, because it's really annoying when you have to sit in close quarters and someone's got the perfume on. So don't bring it. The rest of them you can look at. Remember your passport. If you don't have a passport, you can't do it. You can't go. So.
Janet, do they
Yes.
take the passport at the hotel like they do in
No.
France
give
or
it back.
Italy? Do we keep our passports?
Keep your passport and put it in your safe at your hotel. Put it in your safe. Or
Should you not carry it during the day then?
You know, I don't.
Okay.
I tend to think that I would lose it. You don't need, if you're not gonna be, I mean, some
Changing
places,
money or-
changing money, and most places when you change money, you don't, you give them a credit card, they give you money, they don't care. You fill out a form. You've got a piece of paper in your passport, never let it go separately.
No, but I mean, you don't need a little piece of paper if you're leaving your passport.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
if you're gonna use your passport, you need that little piece of paper. Your passport's useless without that. But take that with you, yes.
So I read a whole bunch of different places that you need to carry it with you, and they could demand it at any point that you would need to give them your
Listen,
passport
when
so
you
they can
go
see
to Bethlehem, take your passport.
Oh, yeah,
When
we
you
will,
go, yeah, when you go, Bethlehem is in the West Bank, and you're gonna be getting out of the bus and going through a checkpoint and all that, take your passport. They may not ask for it, but take it. I personally am a person who loses everything, so I don't, I don't like to take things I don't need. But I take that, when you're traveling, make sure it's available. If you're going to the bus from place to another place, like from the north to Jerusalem, make sure you have it with you. Okay,
And I'm
out
sure
available.
Hanania will tell us the day if we need to
Yes,
take our passport
yes.
with us.
Yeah,
He'll let us know
absolutely,
that ahead of time.
Okay, yes, exactly. Nasiya Tova means have a good trip, safe travels. Shalom is a great word, it means hello. It means goodbye, and it means peace. So it's a useful word. Yes. So again, have a wonderful time. I have my business cards here if you have any questions, if there's someone who missed it. And also, if you're a woman and you're active and you want to go again in March, or know someone who does, please come with me. I want to go.
Questions, Greg?
The Red Sea is probably the best diving in the world.
I don't think you're
And
going.
do we have any access to the Red Sea while
The
we're
Red Sea
there?
is a long way.
Low.
No,
Okay.
you're not going there. I mean, that's a different trip.
It's a very different character.
If you wanted
Yeah.
to extend your trip and take a flight from Tel Aviv to the Negev, to Eilat, you could do that, but it's not part of your trip. It's a
Yeah,
very,
I
very long
understand.
ride.
Thank you.
Janet, there's going to be an election in Israel on the 17th of September. A snap election to elect the Knesset. Is there something that we should be aware of
You know,
before we go?
there's the politics there are just like the politics here. It's a mess. And Netanyahu is not exactly the most popular person for half the land of Israel. And, it's like that. It's a mess. We, on my last tour, on the way back from Bethlehem, saw them burning an effigy of our President Trump, and it was not, pretty sight. There's nothing dangerous, but on your guide will tell you where to, if you have to avoid an area because there's people protesting or whatever, then your guide will take care of
That's
it.
going to be an on-the-spot decision.
And you can expect that for your whole tour. We got to the Jordan River, and it was closed because Kushner was there negotiating with the Jordanians. And we got there, and they said, we put a white sheet, no one can come in. We had to go the next day. So we went to Qumran instead, and we switch things around. Your guide will do that. You have an excellent guide, your guide will take care of that. Yeah, questions?
Are there certain customs that we might be aware of just for the sake of politeness? Like in France, when you come into a shop, you always say bonjour. I mean, you always greet. And it's just something that is just done. And I wondered if there was something that we should be aware of just to be polite.
Don't take pictures of the Orthodox.
Okay.
That's definitely, and act like a nice American. Tip well.
Mm-hmm.
They live on tips. I mean, it's a socialist country mostly. I mean, it was built on socialism, and they don't get paid well. They pay. You buy a car, you pay 110% tax on that car, and it's so hard to live there that I personally go. I'm not going to miss that extra $20 when I get back home. I mean, it's not going to be for them. It's a huge deal, and we're Americans. We want to have them leave. Want to leave, and so tipping is. You're going to tip your guide.